If you're someone who wants to cook but can't really seem to find the time, I completely get it. Between work, family, and everything else that you have going on, finding the time and energy to cook can feel like a lot to ask of yourself. And when cooking starts to feel like one more thing you have to get through, it stops being something you actually enjoy. And I've definitely been there. Over time, I figured out a few things that make a real difference, not just in how much time I spend in the kitchen, but also in how cooking actually felt. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 things that I used to hate about cooking and exactly what I did to fix them. The first one is finding the time and energy to cook after a long day. When you get home, you're exhausted, you're tired, and the last thing that you want to do is stand in the kitchen and make dinner for an hour. On those nights, even a simple recipe can feel like way too much. What made the biggest difference for me was making a few certain ingredients in advance. Things like dried beans, chickpeas, lentils, or rice. If you cook a batch at the beginning of the week, you can use them across multiple recipes without having to start from scratch every night. It significantly cuts down on how much actual cooking you have to do on days when you're really tired and just want dinner to be easy. And that one small habit changes the whole experience of weeknight cooking. The second thing I used to struggle with was feeling like I was eating the same meal over and over again. When you're trying to keep cooking simple, it's really easy to fall into a loop. You find a few recipes that work, you make them on repeat, and pretty quickly you find yourself bored of them. But you're also not really sure what else to make. So you just keep making the same things, and cooking starts to feel more and more uninspiring. What helped me break out of that was setting aside 5 to 10 minutes a few times a week just to browse recipes. Not to plan everything out in detail, just to look around and see what felt interesting. Finding new recipes that fit the amount of time I actually wanted to spend in the kitchen gave me something to look forward to. It sparked new ideas, got me experimenting with ingredients that I hadn't tried before, and made cooking feel a lot more creative and a lot less repetitive. It's such a small thing, but it made a really big difference in keeping cooking fun. The third thing, and honestly one of the most frustrating ones, was feeling like prep work was endless. A lot of the times when I didn't want to cook, it wasn't even the cooking itself that made me not want to do it. It was the chopping. By the time you've prepped everything, you've already spent so much time in the kitchen before you've actually started cooking. One of the easiest fixes for this is falling back on frozen veggies when it makes sense. They're already prepped, they cook quick, and you can throw them straight into whatever you're making. It sounds simple, but it makes a really noticeable difference in how much time you actually spend in the kitchen. And on nights when you're already tired, that kind of shortcut is exactly what you need. Cooking doesn't have to feel complicated no matter how much time you have to spend in the kitchen. A lot of the times it just comes down to your approach. Small adjustments like prepping a few ingredients in advance, staying curious about new recipes, and knowing when to take a shortcut can completely change the way cooking feels. It stops being something that you drag yourself through and starts being something that actually fits into your life. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you get notified whenever I put out a new video like this. And if you want even more simple ways to make cooking easier and more enjoyable, my free guide, 7 Secrets to Transforming Your Cooking, is linked in the description and in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.